Good morning, traders. Hola. So, welcome to your opening bell. My name is Adam Harris. So, having a look at the major economic calendar news. So remember that last night we passed the FOMC where they did a 50 basis point rate hike. Really, remember, all of this is to keep that inflation under control. The market seemed to have coped relatively well with that. They were anticipating it. So it does appear as if for now, the trends are in place. However, and I can also see that some of the different asset classes are starting to do their own thing. That is a very good sign. It means that the concerns about inflation and possibly a run in terms of fear-based driven market behavior seems to be subsiding. So that also means that we're going to get some different trends today. It does appear as though we're going to have some correction. So quickly having a look at the major economic news, really coming out of both the UK as well as Europe today, we're getting central bank interest rates. So out of the UK, that'll be at midday on the dot, and out of Europe, that'll be at 1:15, and then again at 1:30 out of the US, we're going to get jobless claims. Core retail sales. So again, the US stuff will be focused on how is the market coping? Is there a recession or is there growth, lack of growth? And so that's really where there's going to be some increased volatility there. In terms of earnings, so today we really have Adobe and we have EVN, ADR, you may not be familiar with them. And then in terms of dividends, we have Associated British Foods and we have BlackRock, so we've got some big ones there. Burberry, Chubb, you might be familiar with Chubb Alarms, Credit Suisse and FNB as well, so some of the listeners will be familiar with those. And then finally, in terms of IPOs today, we have Smart Tech 247 out of the UK, as well as Sondors Inc. out of the US. If we have a quick look at the markets, we can see the dollar actually overnight has continued to weaken, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. But when I have a look, when I have a look at the euro and I have a look at sterling at the moment, a lot of the majors against the currencies are actually doing a bit of a retracement on the daily, which means that for today it's possible we're going to see a little bit of a stronger US dollar in the currencies, and so likely to trade in line with that. It's a temporary correction within the overall trend. If we have a look at gold, gold is having quite a strong reaction to the downside, but the trend appears to be otherwise intact. Silver is looking really good, so silver's trend is very nice and healthy, but it is having a correction. It's likely to pause around about the $23 level. So there could be some entries between today and tomorrow for swing traders looking for moves to continue tomorrow to the upside. Crude oil has reached a key resistance point. So if we find that crude oil finishes to the downside today, that would provide a swing trading opportunity for end of day traders for that downtrend to continue. However, if it finishes a lot higher, which I think is not as likely, I think we're then going to see a potential change in trend. We'll see. Right now, it seems more likely we're going to finish to the downside and see a trend continuation there. Coffee is still attempting to turn around. Sugar's had a really good day to the upside. So some commodities are actually doing very well at the moment. If we look at the US indices, they're starting to stall. So the US indices are really all sitting at major resistance levels, struggling with those resistance levels. And the trends have got some divergence in them. So it would be okay for us to have a down week. Not necessarily, that doesn't mean we're returning back to a bear market or we're still within a bear market, but we are in need. We've had some really good weeks coming up to this one. We do need to have a bit of a correction, and therefore a down week would not be out of the ordinary. So we might be finishing lower by Friday. We'll see how that goes. In terms of equities, there's actually some mixed results there. For the most part, there are a couple that have been strengthening, a couple that have stayed in place, and a couple that have been weakening. And I feel like I am a stuck record, but Tesla's been testing new lows, and it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon. Bonds are interesting to me. Bonds are continuing to push up a little bit higher, and that has not been the case for a very, very long time. Again, that's also a very good sign. And also very good news, we can see cryptos have started to break a little bit higher. So we're starting to see markets not all work in tandem. It's starting to do their own thing. That's a really good sign. So I'm going to leave you that. There are some good opportunities. Remember, guys, trade sensibly, stick to your plan, and manage your risk accordingly. Have a great day.